you're going to take an opponent lightly because you've got a few inches of height over them, you've obviously not been doing your homework. What Gervonta Tank Davis lacks in height and reach, he makes up for in his innate ability to break his opponent's chins. And so, calling him a midget is a truly bad idea. Tank earned his nickname for a reason, folks, and his ability to use his stocky physical frame to produce massive power is unrivaled. This isn't just a good knockout artist for his size. This is a guy who could probably knock out most middleweights if he landed clean. It doesn't matter who the opponent is, the result is generally the same. Davis is operating on a totally different level these days, and even though his immediate future and commitment to boxing is in some doubt, his legacy is set in stone, and for our money, there aren't many superstars in boxing who can produce the type of results that Davis has over the course of his career. Remember, if you want to help to support the channel, be sure to use your hype feature. Leo Santa Cruz came into his title showdown with Tank with something of a point to prove to the world.
People were saying that I was scared to fight a big competition, that I didn't want to fight big names, or I didn't want to challenge myself. And that's why, I decided to challenge Tank Davis, because I think he's the best in the division and he's the biggest challenge out there.
For Tank, he was the guy coming with all of the hype and potential, although the jury was still out on just how suited he was for the very elite upper echelon. Leo Santa Cruz was the man with the title when he took on the rising prospect Davis. Santa Cruz had the edge in the high-level experience, but the question on everyone's mind was, would that be enough to win? Because if it wasn't, Tank was liable to use Santa Cruz's own name as a means of solidifying his own superstar status, and you'd better believe that Gervonta had something truly spectacular up his sleeve to mark the occasion. Anyone who thought that this fight would be a blowout in either direction was proven wrong by the competitive and highly skilled opening round they shared.
Green, orange, and gold. The 135-pound belt holder, Gervonta Davis, in the red, white, and green. And there's a counter, left uppercut by Davis. So much as Santa Cruz wants to establish the jab.
Yes, he does. He throws 33 jabs per round normally, lands 7. Whether he'll be as much of a volume puncher in this match early remains to be seen.
Do not pull back. Do not pull back.
Abner, you've been in the ring twice with Santa Cruz. You trained to face Davis. What are you picking up early on?
Santa Cruz is trying to stay disciplined with that jab. He's trying to work his jab and move backwards a bit. He's got to turn Davis, though, to his left and not extend the jab, because when he does that, I already saw early on that Davis counter punches with that left.
Yeah, that left uppercut has been there. Santa Cruz goes upstairs.
I'm good. The combination punching with Santa Cruz can't push Davis back, and that would be interesting to see. Davis doesn't normally fight going backwards.
Again, Davis winding up with that left uppercut. Already blood on the face of Leo Santa Cruz.
Bridge of his nose, it looks like.
There's a right hand, a right hook behind the back. Santa Cruz comes back with a right bounced off Davis' glove.
He's a pressure fighter in this fight. He's pressuring the bully that Santa Cruz is used to, being the bully, pushing a fighter back. But now we see Davis picking his punches. As Santa Cruz at moments, he does land also.
Davis off to a quick start, of course. Apparently made weight fairly easily. Maybe confident about going into deep waters. Remember, Santa Cruz said that Davis is dangerous for the first 6 rounds and then begins to fade. That's what Santa Cruz wants to bring Davis, is into the deeper waters. And the just over 9,000 fans in attendance, if the introductions were any indication, all the fans may be cheering on both fighters. Great start here. Round number 1.
When the second round came, you could see that Davis was starting to wake up a bit, starting to find his rhythm, and more importantly, his range.
Putting pressure on Davis early in round 2.
Intriguing. Already Leo Santa Cruz, you can get the feeling he thinks he can push Davis back in this fight. Will that be the proper move for him? He's landing some nice punches.
Well, the narrative coming in was that Santa Cruz was the smaller guy. We saw at the weigh-in. He had added muscle, and that does not seem to be the case against definitely a more compact, harder puncher. But Santa Cruz is not the smaller guy in this fight. Santa Cruz turned 32 in August, so the youth is on the side of Davis. Misses with that counter left uppercut that has been there for him.
Yeah, you feel that's going to be an important weapon for Davis. He's trying very hard to get it in. He has to be careful throwing it from too far out. He'll get countered by Santa Cruz.
Just past the midpoint of round 2, a compelling confrontation, and already so much to absorb. Davis! There goes the sportsmanship! Spent 15 weeks in Las Vegas at the Mayweather boxing gym, said that he would like to hold all of his camps there because of the lack of distractions and the ability to focus. But Santa Cruz now, Davis will some of those shots and avoiding the right hand, but it is Santa Cruz putting on pressure.
It's a combination punch against Santa Cruz. When he is at his best, those combinations flow, but there's that left uppercut from Davis.
Davis timing that left uppercut counter. Good stuff through 2 rounds.
Leo Santa Cruz was a championship-level fighter, though, and he would test Gervonta's skill level thoroughly.
Can land that shot and hurt you.
Santa Cruz wants to keep Davis corralled in the corner, but there's a counter left from Davis, allows him to escape.
Davis starting to use the jab, and he has a good jab. It's an underused punch sometimes for him, but it is effective.
Santa Cruz's Twitch, signed up for a Twitch account yet. Inquiring minds want to know. Left hook by Santa Cruz, another left hand. There, Santa Cruz digging to the body. Meanwhile, Davis looking for the angle for that uppercut.
You don't always see Davis in that kind of defensive posture that he's in with his hands really high.
While you're working with Floyd Mayweather, you better learn defense.
There you go.
And there's Santa Cruz through the right, and Davis.
The punching power and accuracy of Tank came into play more in the 4th round, making it clear that something big was coming.
An eruption from the crowd here at the Alamo Dome. This main event delivering already. Here in round 4, lead right hook by Davis.
Is this the right strategy for Santa Cruz? He's getting to the rim, but he's taking power punches. And even when he doesn't throw, you can see he's ready to throw.
Double jab, then the left hand downstairs by Davis avoids those punches from Santa Cruz, and again stabs Santa Cruz in the belly with the left. There's a jab to the midsection.
The shots were having an impact, and Davis was finding his mark more and more with each passing minute of action.
With that jab, have Davis be thinking.
Davis crouching down. He'll like to crouch down, shoot counters that his opponents rarely see coming. We've seen that on occasion tonight. And that left hand is just ready to be uncoiled. Ready to spring out. There's that lead right hook by Davis.
One of the weapons that Santa Cruz has found in this fight, and he wants to get back to it, is his own left hook, which is not normally his money punch, but he's kind of found a home for it.
Little did we know just how much of a bomb Tank was about to drop on Santa Cruz. He was walking him directly into a truly brutal trap.
Ridiculous, huh?
There's a left hand by Davis under a minute left in the 6th. Davis now putting it in for a shot. Santa Cruz standing there, taking it. And coming forward with punches of his own. Scintillating stuff here in the 6th round. Gervonta Davis, Leo Santa Cruz, 2 champions with the hearts of champions.
If Davis thought Santa Cruz was going to fast from his...
That wasn't just the best knockout of Tank's career, it was arguably one of the finest knockouts of the decade, period. A truly stunning moment for this young champion, one that would be played on highlight reels for years and years to come. There wasn't any doubt in Mario Barrios' mind about his ability to mess with promotional plans when he took on Gervonta Davis.
Leonard Ellerby said, they have big plans for him, and I fully intend, on up those plans come Saturday.
Just because you have 7 inches of height over your opponent, it doesn't mean that it's a major advantage. Barrios was long, rangy, and awkward, but how long could he make that distance count before Tank figured him out? Because one Davis got his range. This fight was only ever going to go one way. One of these fighters was about to shake up the world of boxing with yet another huge win, and the other was about to learn a very important lesson about his own limitations. Anything can happen in the ring, and fights are not won and lost based on how the fighters line up on the tail of the tape. How would Tank navigate the distance in a fight like this? Barrios was truly a very difficult physical challenge. Make no mistake.
Barrios against Akhmedov landed, knocked him down with a left hook and a right hand. Davis has started the fight. He's getting closer with that left hand.
Final 30 seconds of the third round.
And, you know, the other fascinating thing, we're all sitting here on pins and needles.
The opening exchanges were relatively slow, especially by Davis's standards, and it was becoming clear that the size was giving him some issues, at least for now.
Somehow changed his script a little bit, and whether it's him jabbing his way in and then landing power punches.
Oh, it's safe to say this is one of the keys to victories for Tank. Doing the Pedraza. Pressuring Barrios.
Now Barrios off to a good start here in the sixth, though.
This wasn't just a tricky matchup for him. He was also in the process of figuring out whether his iconic punching power would truly translate up to these heavier divisions.
But Davis does a good job of avoiding the punches upstairs as we bring in our Hall of Fame unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood.
Early on, I was asking myself, how many rounds is Davis going to give away?
You got to change the jab here and there for Barrios. You can't just throw it straight all the time. Oh.
Double jab followed by the left hand from Davis, and again, the crowd erupts.
Davis attacking and using the jab very effectively. We talked about that. And what does it do? It sets up the straight left.
Mario Barrios was proving his quality out there, make no mistake, and Tank was being forced to think deeper than he was expecting.
One interview, Gervonta Tank Davis said he would stop Mario Barrios.
But the truly great fighters are adaptable, and in the 5th round, we saw Gervonta take control of the fight.
The first knockdown from Davis, throwing that right hook and landing it perfectly. That's a weapon we hadn't seen yet in this fight from him, and he led with the right hook.
Gervonta Tank Davis brought his power to 140, and Mario Barrios has backed down twice in round 8.
6, 7, 8. You okay? You want to continue? Come here. Protect yourself.
A volcanic eruption here in Atlanta as Davis continues to dominate on Mario Barrios. Can Barrios survive the round? Feel like they contain plutonium, but Barrios looking to survive the final 45 seconds. Davis is bludgeoning Barrios here in the 8th, but Barrios trying to fight back. Davis.
We were slowly seeing Tank's confidence growing, minute by minute, exchange after exchange.
There and right
There's your answer.
Steve Farhood with his unofficial scorecard. So,
And Barrios lands a combination on Davis.
wow. Well, that was fascinating, that whole exchange. Here is where Barrios in the last round
And it's that
lands
same
the nice
hook.
left hook.
It's that same hook that knocked down Barrios. The fake to the body came up upstairs.
The challenge was by no means over just yet, but Gervonta was finding his rhythm and testing the defenses of Barrios more and more.
Barrios' corner wants him to unload with Davis on the ropes. There's the left hook, but up and down goes Barrios.
In the 8th round, Tank decided to step up a gear, clearly showing confidence in his ability to carve out another big moment.
Now, these are 2 very important rounds for both Davis and Barrios.
I agree.
Double left hook, one to the body, one upstairs for Barrios that lands. And Steve Farhood, our unofficial scorer, has Barrios now 1 point ahead. The ebb and flow
did need to ensure that he wasn't rushing though. Barrios was quite crafty, and if Davis pushed his gas tank too far, he would capitalize on his fatigue.
That was a little low by Barrios.
Under a minute left here in the 10th.
Wow.
Left to the liver by Davis. Bobbing and weaving. Sustained body attack by Barrios.
This is going to be a hard round to score, guys.
Oh boy, yeah.
But both had their moments.
Oh, beautiful left hook, left uppercut.
Oh.
Right hand, but then Davis comes back and clocks Barrios. Under 30 seconds remaining. Barrios
He's hurt.
doesn't want to get into a firefight with Davis, but demands that he bring it on.
Barrios was winning that round, but then Davis hurt him.
The exchange of body shots and then another thudding left. That scores for Davis.
In the 10th round, Gervonta continued to press the action, knowing that he could find his statement victory if he just kept patient.
Daring to be great, and his power has already delivered 2 knockdowns, but Barrios isn't going anywhere. Referee warning Davis for the forearms. You heard the corner watch the forearms. Davis got clipped on the jaw by Barrios.
That was his monstrous left.
When the championship rounds arrived, Tank knew that he had Barrios exactly where he wanted him.
For knockout.
Right hand to the body by Barrios.
Ooh, body shot.
Barrios is down again. 3rd time in the arm.
5, 6, 7, 8. You okay? Come here. Protect yourself, all right?
Aztec Warrior summoning that inner resolve. Davis unloads the left. Got Barrios a double number. It's over. It's over. Gervonta Tank Davis has ascended to 140 pounds. And Davis has recorded the knockout victory.
It took a little longer than expected, but navigating that type of height difference was always going to be a challenge. In this case, it was a challenge that Davis rose to in impressive fashion. Tank was very clearly progressing onto a totally new level of skill and technique. But what's your own personal opinion on the mighty Gervonta Tank Davis? And do you think he still has a future in the sport of boxing? If so, who would you like to see him matched up with? Let us know your thoughts, opinions, and hot takes in the comments section below.